Alright, welcome back. This is episode 3, and sorry that I got cut off that last time. I can only record for 10 minutes at a time. We're going to be covering concatenation and storing strings and variables. So first of all, what is concatenation? That's a big, complex word. Literally all it means is you're just taking the two strings and you're adding them together. Literally speaking, you're slapping one on the end of the other one. So I can go, hello is one string, world is another string, and I get hello world with no spaces. The reason I don't get spaces is because it literally adds them as is. If I want a space, I can add three strings together. I can go hello space world, and it gives me hello world with a space in the middle. I can also use plus signs. So I can go hello world. It gives me the same thing. Now it should be noted that this type of thing right here will only work with raw strings like this. So if I try to store one in a variable, we'll say x, so I'm going to store the word hello in x. If I try to do x world, it's going to give me an invalid syntax. However, I can do x plus world. And this is, it doesn't understand what you're trying to do. There's no syntax for putting a literal after a string, especially a variable. Or literals after strings can be handled. Literals after variables cannot. There are a few other operators that can be performed with strings. I can do x, or sorry, I'll do, not x. I can do hello. The string hello times 3. Hello, hello, hello. So what it literally is doing it's doing it 3 times. What else can you do to a string? Well, sometimes you want to know what's in a string. So I can go, I have got my variable x. It has the word hello in it. But let's say I want to know what letter is at the third place in it. The third position. If I wanted to know what's at the third position of x, I would type in x2, and I get the letter L. So you're saying, wait, I wanted to know what was at the third position, but why did I type in the number 2? This is because of something called indices. And in its most simple format, basically the way it works is a computer, or the way a human counts is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? However, computers, they count starting with 0. So they go 0, 1, 2, 3. There are 4 values here. So the first index is always identified as index 0, even though it is the first slot. So anytime you want to access the first slot in something, it's going to be index 0. I can do x of 0 and I'll get h. X of 1, I get e. X of 2, L. X of 3, L. X of 4, O. What happens if I try to do x of 5? I'll get string index out of range. So what this means is I tried to access a position in there that doesn't actually exist. In the case that there's not 6 letters in the word hello. Basically, that's what it comes down to. You can do this the other way, too. If I take x and I type in -1, I'll get O. You're thinking, why didn't I start with -0? Because -0 is 0. It's a math thing. So in the case of negative indices, you can go to -5, but you can't go to -6. So basically, positive indexes, you're going left to right, starting with the number 0. Negative indexes, you're going right to left, starting with the number -1. You can also tell it to call up specific ones, or like a list, and it's and it's exclusive on the ladder, and I'll explain what that means here in a second. So I can go 0 to 2, it will return H and E. You'll notice it didn't return L, because it's exclusive on the ladder one. The second argument in this case is always going to be excluded. So in this case, if I want to return all letters, I would type in 0 to 5, but not 0 to 4, because 0 to 4 will not give me all of what I'm looking for. It'll just print out hell rather than printing out hello. You can do other things, like for example, if you go just doing a colon and then the number 3, it'll print out all of them up to the number 3. And I can do 3 colon and it'll print them after 3. So I can do x 3 colon plus x colon 3, and it should print out low hell. And if I switch them around, it'll print out hello. Because what it's doing is it's saying, okay, so what comes after 3? In this case, it's LO. What comes before 3? HEL. And then it reconcatenates them. So you can use this to simply reorder strings or to take suffixes and prefixes. You can do all sorts of neat things with this sort of thing. Being you can do all these different things, sometimes it's useful to be able to grab the... Like, what if you don't know how long a string is? Like, let's say you've got something that's really long, that's like 100 lines, but you want to know how many characters it is. You can use a built-in function called length, or len. So if I type in length of x, it's going to print out 5. But you're like, whoa, the indexes only go up to 4. That is correct, but the length is 5. Length and indexes are two different things. In general, your index number is going to be 1, or the total number, your highest index is going to be 1 minus the length. That is a general rule of thumb. And on this, we're going to cover our last topic, and this is going to kind of springboard us into the next bit in tutorial, I believe it's number 4 now, which will be lists. And what that is it's going to be iterables. What is it? Or not iterables, sorry. Mutables. We will cover iterables, though. What does it mean for something to be mutable? Strings are immutable. And what this means is, okay, so remember how you could access something at a specific point? Well, if it's mutable, you can redefine it. So if I try to redefine this as the letter L, it won't work. It's going to say does not support item assignment because it's immutable. So, and you'll see lists, on the other hand, are mutable, and eventually we'll create a program that will turn strings into lists, making them mutable objects. However, there is a much easier way, a built-in function that allows you to do this. But it's just to sort of give you, getting your feet wet with programming. It'll be one of the very first programs we... Anywho, the next episode, like I said, we're going to be covering lists, and until then, see ya.